Pinocchio Unstrung follows James, who after losing a parent and a best friend, his grandfather decides to build him somebody who will never die. Now I will say before I go into this movie, I did have very low expectations, and that is because I knew this was part of the Twisted Childhood universe, but I haven't seen any of the movies that came before this one, but also didn't really hear anything really positive about the movies that came before. So I try to go into the movies with really having no expectations, but we don't really hear anything good about movies that came before it. I tend to have more of a lower expectation, which is the case with this movie. And this movie was better than I thought it was going to be. Is it going to make my top 30 of the year? No, but it's definitely not going to make my bottom 20 of the year. So that's kind of where I overall land with this movie and my expectations. I had a good time with this movie overall. And keep in mind, it is under an hour and a half too, which is nice for the type of movie. So going into the pros for this movie, this has some very solid gore and kills throughout the movie. I thought that was good really throughout, and when they really go unhinged with the movie, they fully go unhinged, which works. This movie also has some solid acting performances from everyone across the board, with the exception of one character, which is Dudley, and that's mainly because of all of the kid characters, they just give Dudley the most annoying lines of all of them. Just him, he gets all the most annoying lines possible. They also do a twist here with Pinocchio that works very well, and I didn't know if they were actually going to go full that route towards the end, but when they went fully that route, they really do go that route. But I really only have one mix for this movie, and that is Pinocchio. Pinocchio, I will say overall, does look fine. There are definitely some scenes where he's walking where it doesn't look great. It doesn't look good underwater, but his voice does not match the puppet look either. Like when I first heard the voice and I saw the puppet, it just doesn't match. And even towards all the way into the movie, the voice just does not match the puppet. And that's the best way I can describe Pinocchio. But going into the negatives and cons for this movie, they have Cricket for this movie, which I understand the purpose of Cricket and why you have to have him in the movie and how he works. But they do two scenes that looks like total AI and doesn't look good, nor does it like fit the vibe of the movie. But also Cricket itself, and this is gonna be another one later on, but a lot of the lines that he says after like certain like gore points, they could just cut that out because it just doesn't, it's just kind of like cringy or just bad, and some of it I just didn't really care for at all. And Cricket itself definitely looks better in some scenes than others. They totally missed on the Cricket part of the movie. I do understand its purpose though, I do. You also have to suspend your disbelief quite a bit in this movie, and the way I would describe it as, if you see or hear Pinocchio, you're done. If you don't, you're good. And there are some scenes in this movie, I'm gonna get into spoilers, more specific scenes that have pointed this out, that someone would surely see or hear something in this movie. This is definitely a turn your brain off type of movie, but it is something I noticed, especially in two particular scenes that really point out that. There are also a lot of cringe lines throughout the entire movie. Dudley has the most from the kid points for me that I did find annoying. The Cricket also had some lines, and just other lines thrown in there that definitely had me cringe. But I did laugh at some points because some of the lines were so cringy I did laugh. In some scenes I just did laugh, or just laugh because I'm like, okay. And sometimes I did do laugh because they were kind of funny. Now I'm going to the spoilers part of the video. If you don't hear any spoilers, you can skip ahead to final thoughts. And the first spoiler I want to talk about is the ending itself. Now after the sequence of the house and the fight, which also fully did not expect them to go the full unhinged way they did, which it definitely does work with how unhinged the whole parts of the movie that go fully for it. But the ending is we see Pinocchio staring at this fire. And while he is staring at this fire, he tells a lie saying he didn't enjoy what he did, which is a good way to end this movie when his nose grows. But also, the choice of having James's dead friend be the one that was in Pinocchio works very well. I did kind of suspect they were going that route after a while, but they did fully go there. But the moments where this is a movie I would describe as shut your brain off movie, which only has its place in some movies. But there are several moments you have to put your belief aside. The first off being the whole hospital sequence. Keep in mind, this puppet can talk, and that voice is very, very noticeable, which mine still, I will hear, does not match the look of the puppet. It just doesn't line up for me. I don't know why, it just doesn't work for me. But first you have him getting on the cart, which no one notices, and no one hears him when he's on the cart. And so it's like pushing the cart. Surely they would hear it. And let's say, okay, maybe he's covered. But you're telling me he's walking around and no one's noticing him in the entire hospital at all? Even when the grandfather's visiting the grandson, he just like walks by and doesn't even notice anything, or even the door open, which is something. And also, after he's finished like attacking the person on the bed in the hospital, now I don't work at the hospital. I don't know how things work everywhere in the world, but don't they have buttons for when stuff is going off like that, or some immediate kind of checkup thing? Because it takes so long, and someone actively visiting the patient to realize what happened is happening, even though there are alarms going off over there, which is another little thing. Another sequence I think is even more noticeable with that is the pool sequence. When, first off, the teenagers listen to, I think, the soundtrack from one of the Blood and Honey movies. Most random placement you could have had for it. Why would we have like poster bedroom or something would make more sense? Now, I don't have heard the soundtrack, that's just very random to have. This girl's like being thrown, she's screaming, but he doesn't hear or see a single thing behind him. Like, that's crazy. And then you get in the house when she's showering and no one hears her scream. You know, another thing there. And just little moments like that. And those are the major moments, but stuff like that. That's why I would describe it as, if you see him, you're a goner. If you don't, you are very good. Now, the exception is that one girl in the very beginning, but 99.9% house, that's how it works with the movie, and that's just something I did notice. The mother puppet was also something in those scenes. I do get why they had the puppet, and it makes sense with this movie, and it does work, but with some of the lines that it delivers and the look, it just is funny some points in the movie. I also will say the fully unhinged moments in this movie I did enjoy. But overall, I did have a good time with this movie. I did like it more than I thought it would. It's not going to make top of the year, but it's definitely not bottom of the year. So comment down below if you saw this movie. Did you like it? Not like it? Comment down below, and I'll see you guys soon with a brand new review.